to today's stream. The music is still a little too loud. I apologize. First of all, let me move that closer. I forgot I tipped my mic away. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. We're going to be playing Manor Lords today, and we are going to be playing the campaign that we've been running. We're at a very interesting point. I fixed the issues with my outpost, and now I'm working hard to getting our farmlands put together. So let's go ahead and boot the game up. Without further ado, I do thank you guys for being patient. My job is kind of restructuring, and they're doing a lot of training. So that's why we're here in the evening instead of earlier in the day. And tomorrow we're going to be here even earlier in the day. So it's going to be pretty nuts. Let's go ahead and add the game up to the screen. Oh, of course. Of course it would be set at the wrong resolution. Because that's just the luck I have. All right. As you can see, I've been playing this at home to test my internet, or to test the build, just to see if they fix certain annoying things I don't want to show up on stream. So far, I have very little complaints. 112. 74 stone. Which means we need more rocks. So the first thing we're going to do is come over here to our forestry area. Oh. And tell them that I want 120 bucks. Good. We're also going to have to get trade up and going now. Which I think right here is where I was going to build the trading offices. And in order to do that properly, we start phase 2 of our plan. Which I say a lot. There's a lot of phase 2s. We're going to start this house over here and run these back to the side here. These are going to be where a lot of our artisan shops will be. So I only need them to be 1 Burgish plot apiece. And then we're going to come to the opposite side and do the same thing. These are going to be our merchants, our traders, our people who are working the supplies up here. This is also where we're going to be putting a very large marketplace. And then I always like to do the warehouses in the center of town, like off over here, along the King's Road. I know we have 5 free houses. I shouldn't be expanding this much, but I need to. And I never do what I should. That's not the right button. Interesting. The way it snaps is ludicrous with these markets sometimes. But what if I were to do a triangle? Doesn't make no goddamn sense. Okay, I see the issue. It doesn't like the area right up near the fort. Honestly, I get it. I kind of didn't want it that close to the fortress anyway. Oh my god. Now it's just working. Because it decided to. Alright, there we go. This will be an interesting little area to build up. Unfortunately, we also have this area up here we're building up. But I'd rather get these resources planted in and let my people do their thing. Especially since we have the new construction building, which increases the speed at which it constructs. We actually haven't been having too many food issues, but it will help. 4 months, I know a lot of people get all dreary about 4 months, but it is May, so a lot of this stuff hasn't really produced for us yet. But this should solve the matter that we are dealing with. It's so hard to get food in this game that the one thing I always tell people is, look, if you've got plus 4 months, you're doing okay. Could it be better? Sure. It could always be better. Now, what we're building is a livestock trader, and we're building a trading post. But more importantly, the hub of the city is going to need its own stables, especially since I want to put a tavern up here. Ooh, actually, that's what I should have done. How big is this thing? It would fit in there. I want this gone. And instead, I want to get a tavern laid out right here. Right in the market square. So we have all these market stalls. We have our tavern. There's going to be a lot of hubbub going back and forth. This is a great little lineup. And once they're all tier 3 buildings, you're just going to be able to see this row of Gutenberg-style buildings with the markets and then the fortress right at the end of the way. Your big bald-ass head is on my TV. Hell yeah. Hey, Mom, I'm on TV! Now, with that being said, we really need to kick this up to the highest priority. Everything here needs to be our utmost concern. They'll deal with the rest later. I should have made these the highest priority the moment they were being built. I wish you could do that. I wish when you got a row of burgage plots and, oh, you know what, I'm gonna say this, but I'm also gonna remember to come back and like clip this or something. When you're building a row of burgage plots and you're deciding how many you have on the screen, you should also be able to choose build priority. Because then I can make one row of houses highest, one row of houses medium, one row of houses low. Why is that important, you might ask? Well, because people move into the houses in the order in which they were constructed. So if you wanted population to move to certain areas, it would give you that ability. Hey! Desktop Pilot Society with the 300 biddies! His royal baldness, I presume? Yes. Of course. I'm called Chancellor Chrome Dome. Speaking of Chancellor, remember, all of you are my town's counselors, okay? And whenever I have a big decision to make, I will put it up for a vote with a poll on Twitch. And just like medieval politics, you can be corrupt and spend your channel points to sway the votes. This actually worked with great success last time. We made a very important vote, and 500 votes were calculated. There were 12 people in Twitch chat. So it was kind of funny. Oh, speaking of which, since I've got you two here, we've got Dreaming to Hans, yes. Hans, ooh. So, Shanosaurus Rex, do you prefer two-handed weapons? Which, just so you know, a lot of people romanticize about the sword and board, but there's a reason why polearms outlived the sword and board. A very good reason. It's useful. It's useful for sieging, it keeps people at a distance, and once you include firearms into the mix, your little shields don't seem to matter much. So don't be ashamed about a polearm. You can get some pretty wicked ones, like a two-handed warhammer. But if you've always fantasized about being that sword and board knight, we can make that work too. So, Shanosaurus, which of the weapons would you like? A polearm? Or would you like... Where is it? Like a sword and board, like Jazz. I do like the sword and shield girl. All right. You know what? I don't have a sword and border yet. It looks like they're all kind of preoccupied. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to... Yeah, this is Lord Dream, one of the viewers in chat. Let's... Oh, I can't until I build the thing. Okay, well then we're going to put a pause on the sword and board. Desktop Pilot Society said, I need 2 hands for my weapon. That sounds like a resounding success on that one. So, Desktop, what kind of 2-handed weapon would you like? Would you like a warhammer? A glaive with a big... Oh, no, that's not a glaive. That just straight up is a pike. A glaive. We got a bardash. I think that's just like Gisirme. I can't remember the names of these. This is a glaive with a spike on the back. A glaive, by the way, is just like a curved sword at the end of your weapon. Ooh, that one looks nasty. So let me know. Yeah, there's a lot of 2-handeds, but I'm thankful for it because 2-handed weapons are better. Combat-wise, anyway. Well, polearms have the best attack. Once you get heavy armor, really crossbows and stuff don't like change. But there's a reason why spears and polearms are the kings of medieval combat. In order for somebody to get effective with a sword and a shield, which, by the way, swords did very little against armor. And I'm not saying they weren't effective, but you even see it when you play KCD2. A mace is much better than a sword when it comes to heavy armor. But people spend their entire lifetimes mastering the sword, which I think is part of the allure. It's kind of like people who have really good penmanship and can do calligraphy, right? They've mastered the art of penmanship. But in today's world, completely unnecessary, right? So the idea is that with spears and polearms, it took a fraction of the time to train them enough that they could take down a master swordsman. So decades to train a master swordsman, a few months to train a competent polearm expert, and they could put down a guy with a sword and a shield. So that's why eventually you saw polearms. But if we're talking historically, let's see. There's a real good argument case for it. I'm trying to find a particular picture. Okay, so this is the future. Now, we don't know this in the medieval ages, but the future is going to be... Okay, you want to be like that? It's going to be this guy. You've all seen it in the Renaissance, where they have a rapier at their side, they're standing at the gate, they have just breastplate, a conquistador-style helmet, and a polearm, right? Polearms allowed you to kill people even with guns, rifles, pistols, etc., because once they missed you, that's it. You could charge. It's good against cavalry. It's pretty much good in every situation. A fraction of the time it took to learn the blade. And you see it a lot. Like, here's another guy from that era. This looks like it's late medieval. So we're talking 1500s, right around the time of KCD2. Again, just a spear or a polearm. They were the superior weapon. I know a lot of people are like, nuh-uh, if you were good with swords, there have been plenty of swordsmen who were really good, who lost their lives on the field of battle or got horribly disfigured because they couldn't get close enough to polearm troops. And in fact, when the British started pushing against the Irish and the Scottish, that's when they started to put sharpened stakes in the ground. It really was murder for the cavalry. This right here is called a Glasgow swordsman, purely for anti-cavalry. Just a giant blade used for chopping off horse legs. And I'm not saying if you like sword and boarding, you're wrong. I just think anybody who sits there and says a sword and a shield could outtake a polearm any day, they're crazy. That's not accurate at all. At all. Especially since, have you guys seen somebody, you know, a little bit of history? Have you guys seen someone throw a sling? Like, you know, the sling that killed Goliath. Let me look some up real quick. Is it this video?
Powerful primitive projectile weapon.
This is fascinating. Slings are something that peasants could use, right? And slings are incredibly powerful.
Getting started with this.
This isn't it either. Wow. Okay.
This is how two simple chords can break the sound barrier.
There we go. This is it.
Simple.
Okay. So, let me turn this music off. Or pause it anyway. Just a little bit of history. If you guys don't like history, you came to the wrong channel. Slings can break through a brick of concrete. There are people who do sling throwing competitions and they completely obliterate a concrete brick. And I'm not talking a cinder block. I'm talking absolutely a solid concrete brick. Just obliterate it. How fast do you think the average arrow travels? So the average medieval arrow travels between 90 and 143 miles per hour, right? That's fast, real fast. Slings break the sound barrier. I will repeat that again. Slings break the sound barrier. And just in case you're curious, you basically, to reach that, need to travel at about 750 miles an hour. And I know it sounds crazy. Like, how could a rock travel that fast? Behold. And this guy's going to talk over it. It's annoying, but whatever.
This is how two simple chords can break the sound barrier. The ancient shepherd's sling consists of two long cords and a central pouch. As you spin the stone rapidly overhead, centrifugal force pushes it outward, while the cord length acts as an arm extension, generating speeds exceeding 90 meters per second. That sharp crack you hear at release is a sonic boom. It's the exact same principle as a whip cracking through the air. In ancient times, this was a devastating weapon capable of striking enemies hundreds of meters away. This is how two simple...
Cool. Now, here is a picture of a sling busting up like brick that you would see, I think it's this video, brick you'd see in the garden. Boom.
How to use.
Absolutely split that watermelon. Very accurate weapon. They used to kill wolves with these. So peasants were equipped to kill wolves with these. This is probably the best video.
Primitive projectile weapon. This is a sling. It's a weapon that.
Keep in mind, the rock is not breaking the sound barrier. It's traveling at 90 meters per second.
It's just a bit of cordage, but it can throw rocks so powerfully
but the cord itself is what breaks it.
An army equipped with well.
Let's go to. There's another video. Hang on. There was one with the ballistic dummy, but you know what? I'm not going to show that because YouTube gets really weird about ballistic dummies. Yes, they were quite powerful. To the point that a lot of rebellions that have occurred in our favorite medieval areas were taken down by peasantry. You know, you got somebody in big armor, right? You hit him in the chest with a sling. How do you think the knight is going to die when you hit him in the chest with a rock and a sling? And I'll let you guys decide. All I have to do is hit the chest. But if I hit the chest dead on with a rock from a sling, how do you think that knight is going to die? Drowning. See, the problem with armor, and the reason why maces were more effective against heavy armor, is I don't have to put a hole in your armor. I have to dent the armor to break the ribs and cause internal bleeding in your lungs, and you will drown. That's where we get that classic, like, blood coming out of the mouth of somebody who's wounded. Imagine that. Here you are in this battle, the richest guy, you spend a lifetime's fortune on heavy plate mail. Some peasant hits you dead in the chest with a rock because it's still rank and file formations. And for the rest of the battle, you're just sitting there going, drowning on your own blood. So yeah, swords, boards, they realized real quick that you just needed to protect yourself from cavalry, get in there fast, charge with your spears, or your pikes. And I mean, you would use pikes, especially if you were heavily armored, but pikes outlived the sword and board, historically. Now, the glaive with the spike is what we had Sir Pilot. Let's give him the glaive with the spike. Big old, or the, actually, you know what? Let's give him just a standard halberd. That one right there. That's good. Perfect. All right, Sir Pilot, you're a notorious gambler, according to this. So make sure that you do what you're supposed to. It's doing that thing again. There it goes. It did it to me at home, too. Okay, treasury's been changed. We're collecting a little bit of taxes. Yeah, scary though that a small weapon. Now I will say the sling takes tremendous practice. Like, it's not something you're just good at. But they were teaching boys 5 years of age to use the sling. So you know what arrow you don't really see in these games too much, and I wish they put it in? Bodkin arrows. Bodkin arrows were arrows whose arrowhead was oftentimes four-sided, started square at the base, but they were really long, like javelin or pylon points, so that when they'd hit armor, it was designed to go through it. They didn't fly for shit. They didn't do a lot of slashing damage. You could literally pull a bodkin out of you if you were careful enough and not have to worry about ripping any of the muscle underneath. So they weren't the most deadliest weapon, but when you're fighting in medieval combat, you don't need the weapon to be deadly. 2 bodkins and a guy can send him to the ground and he's likely to get trampled. A good example of that is the Battle of Agincourt when Henry V went up against the heavily armored units of the French. They were falling to arrow injuries, not arrow deaths. They would fall face first in the mud, like, I don't know if you ever seen the new Game of Thrones spinoff about the Green Knight. They would fall face first in the mud, and before they could recover, the troops behind them would just walk over them. So it gets nuts. I do apologize for the breaks. I will make sure that we're playing this at normal speed until you all are back. I bet a lot of people underestimated with people with slings back then too. Yes and no. Slings were still... I mean, it would be like walking around with a baseball bat with the nails hammered into it, right? People were like, no, you can't bring that in here. Especially since the sling served 2 purposes. If you took that little loop, pulled it up, and swung it around, it became a kind of like a flail. Basically a flimsy mace. So you could do a lot of damage even close quarters combat-wise. I'm not too concerned about getting our farmland built until we can get this place up and running. We don't have a whole lot of people in our village. We're at that point in the game where we're just chilling. There we go. I see a farmhouse. I really do love the building in this game, and they've updated it to where some of the bigger structures you use, you actually see the medieval cranes that they used back then, which were like hamster wheels attached to a pulley system. Excellent. We need to get stone. But St. Rex in the Woods is doing just fine. People come here all the time to pray, and I like that it's far away and on a cliff, because when we get attacked, everybody runs to go hide in the church. When you put the church in the middle of town, they can die horrible deaths. All right, now the ads are over. We'll kick up the speed a little bit. You didn't see I was live? How dare you? And no, I'm not. I played Vietnam a bunch. I will play that game on Saturdays as long as it's available, and that's it. Sorry. Saturdays are my multiplayer day. This Saturday, probably 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 9 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Central. Okay, so now we've got a new family moving in here, which is good. If I'm being honest, I don't remember why I had them move here. We don't have anybody on the mining pits. You know what? You, sir. You can become... Actually, I need as many building families as I can get. Did I accidentally assign them? Tell me I didn't. I did. Well, you know what? That's not that far. They could be warehouse workers. I don't care. I guess I don't need builders. The only reason why we're even making any progress is because of that construction yard we have built. Those guys are on it. Like, they bring this cart full of multiple logs. So I'm more than happy to have a family work at the warehouse if that's the case. Goofed it. I definitely goofed it. Get some piggies. I want a whole mess ton of piggies. Sergeant Hosshammer can play. We'll make space for Sergeant Hosshammer. Yeah, I used to do more multiplayer games, but then when I noticed that I wanted to play a game that would come out that's single player, primarily when I was playing Kingdom Come Deliverance before Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 released, nobody watched it. I built a multiplayer audience, and I don't want that. We encourage you stream it, King Sir Big Hoss. In fact, we usually do the stream together where we combine all the chats. We 100% encourage that. That's also, if I get people who watch us and they think you're funny, they'll click on your name and go raid you. Saturday, see you then. The only thing that would delay me, and I don't think this will be the case, but it might, is if there's a fuckload of traffic. Now that summer is ending, everybody in Washington State is trying to suck in as much of the sun as they can before it goes away. Thank God I'm done with it. I am so done with the sun. I do not like summer. A lot of people are like, move to Alaska. I've got family in Alaska. That's actually terrible because in the summer, there's points where it's just 21 days of sunlight or 21 hours. And it's not exactly cold up there. I want to live in Norway, my dude. Norway would be my premium. But I don't like the idea of moving to another country unless I have something to offer the country. And in this case, I don't. Oh, lovely. We've got some bandit bastards. So let's rally up the troops. All of them. No, no. If I go somewhere, I want to be useful to their society. If I was a big streamer, then I would be useful because I'd be paying taxes and I'd be able to contribute to the economy. All right, guys, let's form up. Come on now. What's taking y'all forever? I really wish I could name each group. What the hell? Where are you guys? Why are you in the church? This isn't the time to pray. This is the time to kill. Well, it's good to know that my retinue was loving St. Rex's in the woods. But unfortunately, I don't need that from them right now. I need them to do their damn job. All right. The first thing that I recommend whenever you're going into battle is make sure that each individual guy is not running. If you try to do it as a group, the only way the UI works is if they all are already walking. So, if they're up here, then I want to come over here. Elevation is important in battle. Sorry, I was giving them a support speech. You made them cake, didn't you? You son of a bitch. I need my men on the front lines and everybody's over there eating cake. One armor. 3 armor, 2 attack, 3 shield. 8 shield, 5 armor, 1 attack. Which, by the way, is why spearmen are far superior. It'll take them longer to kill the enemy. Oops, she got me. Sorry, my lord. Use. I knew it was cake. It's always cake. Now, in my opinion, my only problem with the AI is they should, if I'm sneaking through the trees, they should not see me. I think you should only see where enemy troops are coming from if a merchant passes by, because it could be like rumors, if a peasant sees them, or if they've been out in the open for a while. I do not think slinking from forest to forest to forest should reveal the troops at all. But that's just me. All right. Now, let's take number one. You're going to form up right here. I want you to be defensive. Here they come. All right, if that's the case... Defensive. Move into position. Spearmen, stay at an angle. I have a feeling they're going to come clash right in the middle, so I want everybody to be ready to swallow them up like the jaws of death. Shield wall. There we go. Look at how smart we look with all of our... I'm going to pause the game real quick. Look at this. We got our leader there. Lord Dream. Look at all of our guys in their little outfits. It's so cute. We're already dropping fools. Now, once they get close, shoot at will. Your guys will shoot quicker. They won't shoot in a volley. All right, swarm them. Swarm them. Done. Easy. Easy. We boxed them in. They went for the center plank. They saw those outfits and they're like, damn, I want to get some of that. King Sir Big Hoss, of course not. In fact, I can't check until we're all home. No, you're not dead. Every time one of you dies, though, we will build a shrine.
My lord, march! Yes, sir, march!
Touch the tent.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. To my newest town. That'd be great. The rest of you, go home. Yeah, but you could build little shrines, kind of like in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I dot them around my map decoratively. Like, we had a pillar, or a pathway of heroes. I built a road out to this one shrine, which was the first retinue that ever died. And then everybody who died after that, we made this, like, long, eerie, respectful pillar of shrines. Disband! Alright. King Sir Big Hoss always carries a flask of wine or ale with him. Good lord, if that's not the fucking truth, they nailed you! Holy crap. In case you guys don't know, every character has a little perk. So Sir Pilot is a notorious gambler. Lord Dream goes into a frenzy when he fights. Sun Yangtze is obsessed with cleanliness. Bob, who's just an NPC. Sir Peekaboo has a pet falcon that he uses for hunting and scouting. Sir Maximus, which is no one, fought in many battles. This, by the way, does anyone know how to say that name? This is Sebastian, which will later become Sebastian. Lawrence? That's not one. Jazz. Was a bandit once and robbed travelers. Also fitting. Sir Peace of the Pipe. Also carries a flask of wine. Wait a minute. Why are you guys next to each other in the... So our two alcoholics are standing next to each other in the formation. It's actually... So the W is a V noise. So it's Sebastian. And later on, that V would be dropped for a B. We had a guy who worked for us named Sebastian, and we just called him Seabass. I know it's not like the most uncommon thing you've ever heard, but we thought it was pretty clever. And that has nobody. Yep. Okay, we're in the right spot. We're gonna get some more piggies going because we need meat. All of the workers have returned from their long journey to get rid of the bandits, but it did give us some pretty nice coin. Coin that we're going to use to jumpstart our trading. And what the fuck is this guy doing? Who would leave the ox just out there? Crazy. Now, much like actual mini... You son of a bitch, Polypho. Polypho! Sword and board or a two-handed weapon? Let me know. So, what we're going to do with the farms is we're actually going to build the farms, strip farm style, down this hill. Now, this has been seen even in ancient Aztec cultures where they do, like, steps. And the reason why is because all of the water travels downhill, so it would water the crops, and then it would seep into the ground and water the other crops, etc. Thank you for doing the shout out. Polly is, of course, here, because Polly has taste. Could I be forgiven for my sins in taking the troops to church and fight with them? I would like to think that what you were doing is you were doing like the Lord's work at getting their confessions before they'd go out and die. All right, we'll save it in case we get another sword and board. Did we give King Sir Big Hoss a shout out? By the way, we have an ad starting in 4 minutes and 35 seconds, and I apologize to all of you who watch. The ads are going to have to be like 2 minutes because of the way that Twitch updated their ad policies. The only way around that is if every hour I take a 5-minute break, and then just while I'm AFK pooping, I run the ads. But the problem is when you're watching YouTube, the moment they see a 5-minute ad, they're gone. You just lost all your viewers. Shannonsaurus, you can't say, yeah, you're right, you're correct, my lord, gulp, because it sounds like you're doing something else with the knights. And that would not be becoming of somebody in the cloth. Do I poop a lot? I have IBS, yes. Sometimes it's just twice a day, like every healthy person, and sometimes I eat apples, which I am gastrointestinally allergic to because they're my favorite fruit. And then it's more than that. Bro. Heat the oil. Oh, it did it. It heated the oil. No. See, I don't need to find a hole to poop in. If we're playing hella loose, all I have to do is get shot and need a medic. Because if I need a medic, I'm not getting healed for a long time. I'm going to be laying there dead for 20 minutes, so... I mean, we were talking of spanking booties when it was first made, my lord. Slowly slinks back into the shadows. Oh my god. Hast thou seen our glory hole? There it is! Behold its glory! Oh! Take me to heaven, Prior Rex. Now, how many Hail Marys do I owe you on my anal beads? By the way, have you ever heard the phrase, I used to be Catholic, have you ever heard the phrase, Hail Marys, like, you need to go do 10 Hail Marys? So the Hail Mary is a prayer, right? And what you would do is you would hold one of the beads and say a Hail Mary, move to the next bead and say a Hail Mary, move to the next bead and say a Hail Mary. So, luckily I never had to do that. But I also left the church when I was young, and I wasn't an asshole back then. Shut up, chat. Anyway, I wasn't an asshole back then. Okay, so we need to do some planning. The best thing we could do with our granary, now that we're building our farms, is say, and you're going to want to follow me along with this one, that we do not want oat sheaves, rye grain, rye sheaves, rye flour, wheat flour, wheat grain, wheat sheaves, and barley. The reason why we don't want those in this granary is that we want the granary next to the farms to have those because that's where all the production is going. Just like how we want no iron parts. Wooden parts are okay. They're needed for much more than just the normal. No flax. Flax we're also going to process over by the farms. Yarn is okay. Wool is not. We do not want wool put here unless we're going to start trading wool. Okay. Yeah, so that's a good setup there. Then we're going to come over here. 2 minutes. Ads for 2 minutes, folks. We're going to come back over here to this granary, and I do not want this. Malt is okay. I say malt is okay because I don't know where our breweries are going to go, and you want your breweries fairly close to where you plan on having taverns. So maybe no malt here, because our taverns are going to be elsewhere. Everything else is fine. Then we're going to come up to this situation and wait until it's built, because I forgot that was a thing. Dreamington is doing well. As soon as we get this rebuilt, we'll be able to hire more people. I'm just kind of like soaking in the money at the... Oh no! Raiders seen near Shark Spits! It's right there. In the enemy's territory. Now here's the thing. The enemy is probably going to dispatch of them. And then get all the prestige. Which means the enemy is then going to claim a territory. There's only 2 territories left. Ferdau and Andor-Dornley. Andor-Dornley. I want Andor-Dornley. Right? So... I'm pressing a claim. We're being aggressive. I need Andor-Dornley because of the stone. Let Dreamington provide the food. You give us the stone. Actually, in this regard, we would do trades of flour for the stone. Obviously, I'm going to need to trade a fuckload of flour to get some stone. But they will need the flour for bread. I don't want to trade bread because I wouldn't give them enough. If we remain uncontested, I don't need to send troops in. If they decide to do the Dick Jarl thing and wait until last minute to contest me, then plans are going to change, sadly. Now, we're going to need a fuckload of gold in order to do this, which is why I will be investing in a ton of, yeah, look at that. They got this. I will be investing, oh no, there's a drought. That person's losing all their, wait, I'm that person. Oh my God, okay. To the command room. Nope, this is the restaurant room. Ignore the fire in the kitchen, okay? Please. There we go. All right. We also need some serious tunes. All right. Oh, I get it. It doesn't like to do... Okay, hang on. Perfect. Welcome, everybody. I've got tragic news. The most tragic of news. For those of you who have been asking me how this game works, here's how it works. You've got this here fish, which is a meat source. Now, fish, much like many other forms of wildlife in this game, have a refresh rate, you could say. They only spawn 50% of what remains. Okay? So, imagine you have your fishing pond and divide it into thirds. If they only spawn 50% of what remains, then that means I want to fish down to 2/3, and then in spawning season, it goes back up 1/3. That way my pond will forever be full. It respawns in March, April, and May. So if I have a fuckload of fishermen, here comes March, bam, I've got like 99 fish from that 1 month. And then April comes along, bam, there's 99 more fish in my inventory. And then May comes along and bam, there's 99 more fish. I know 99's an example. In this case, it would actually be 59, right? So 59, which is 60, we're just gonna round up, means I get 180 fish minus 3. So I get 177 fish per year. When there's a drought, the pond shrinks and your population of fish are fucking decimated. If it knocks my fish population down to 30, then that means next March, it will only go up to 45. And then that April, it'll only go up to 67. And then that May, it will only go up to like 90 or 105. When the whole pond holds 176 fish. So by my calculations, I'm fucked for the next 2 whole years on fish production. I wanted to throw that out there because yes, droughts are devastating to crops, but I don't have any crops. So this is why I'm afraid. Thank you for your time. That's all I have for you today. Well, I think this is an exciting time, so hopefully that math makes sense. Because I know a lot of people are like, so what? It's a pond. It's like, you don't understand. It's not that it's a pond. Now, he's claiming Ferdau, which is right next to me. I'm claiming Ander Dornley, which means I'm their next target. Will rain and storms not refill it? That's a great question, Chanosaurus Rex, and no. See, the science behind water tables anywhere you live, if you have a pond, it's not because rain filled a hole. It's because the ground has stopped needing water. Like the water level of the water table is high enough that the pond is full. Okay? That's how aqueducts work. If you want to get water to a city, then you need to find a spring at the exact same elevation of the city and build aqueducts there. That's the only way you can get fountains inside your town. Which, in fact, if you play KCD2, there's a spring to the southwest of Kuttenberg with aqueducts that lead under, and that's what fills the well that Henry is so amazed at. When you have a drought like this, the water in the ground and the water table recedes. So what will happen with a big rainstorm is that the rain will come down and get the ground wet. The ground will absorb that water, and the water table will rise. But your lake will still be dry because the water table hasn't risen enough to fill the lake. Lakes are pretty much like a big gypsy well, which is a well that you can create by digging into the ground, and then the ground will fill it with purified water. Now, some lakes are river-fed. You know, that's a whole different thing. If they're river-fed lakes, those come from the mountains, those come from snow melts. But you can imagine, as somebody who lives in this area, if we have a drought, there's no snow on the mountain. Yeah, that's how, so LA doesn't have any water at all. Because its water table is just garbage. So all of its water has to be imported. And when they do find a place to hold the water, they put these black balls in it. They look like the ball pit at McDonald's, but they're all black and there's millions of them. And what that does is it absorbs the light and keeps the sun away from the water source. And that way the water source doesn't evaporate. That's how important it is that LA gets its water. Imported water. Ooh la la, of course Raven rolls. By the way, Raven, are you a sword and board warrior in the medieval ages, or are you a polearm spear guy? So, winter. Great point. Can you have drought in the winter? Yes. Because the ground freezes. Right? We were actually pretty lucky that winter came, because there's something wrong with this. This is a really good example of what could save a lake, is if it froze. Whenever you get a drought, the following month, your pond will shrink down. We were lucky because the following month, everything froze. So the game is confused and went, oh, it's, you know, not shrinking down. But let's say we were actually suffering a really bad drought. Once the ground freezes, water doesn't penetrate into the ground that much, which can result to flooding. It can result to snow excess, but snow excess is good because that gives you snow melt. As spring comes and the ground thaws, all the water that's on top gets sucked into the water table. This, my friends, a little bit of science. This is why spring is so bad for flooding across our nation. I mean, and in other parts of the world. Because here's your thirsty ground suffering from the August droughts, being like, water, oh. But in the cold winter, only a little bit of the water starts to make it down. That's why temperate winters are better. But once spring arrives and all of the ice and the snow in the mountains and everything starts to melt and that ground thaws, that ground is going to slurp all of the water up. Only sometimes there's more water on the surface than the ground can handle. And that's when you get lakes that rise up far beyond what they're supposed to. The snow melt with the ground not being able to absorb water because the water table is so high is the reason why rivers get into a raging mess and why farmlands will absolutely flood. And this even happens, you have to think of the ground like a sieve. When you have a lot of rain in the spring, more than the ground can absorb, then you get standing water and you have to wait for that natural process to occur. So, in this case, the fucking game bug fixed it. So we don't have an issue. Let's play some more cheerful music. I love talking about this too because it influences the way I build farms in these games. Of course, water table science is way more complicated than that. You've got wetlands, you've got tributaries, you've got deltas. They all work in different ways to, you know, I'm giving you a very basic, like, scientific breakdown on how that works. There's always other circumstances. Mother Nature is a crazed beast. Damn, Nature, you scary. Oh, of course, the song that plays is one with the goddamn jaw harp. Oh, I hate jaw harps. Huzzar! Queen Felicia, hello. Can you build a town anywhere? Yes. So when you start in the region, right? What a lot of metagamers will do is they'll pick a really cool spot for their starting camp and build right here and just kind of sprawl out. I look at it this way. These guys came here because there's tons of iron. So these are our miners. Much like in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 near Grund, you have that mining branch. So we got this going on. Over here was our forested area. So this is where our lumber industry started. Over here we've got our fishing industry. These are the guys that tend to the lake. They bring us food supply from the lake. To centralize all of that, some merchants moved in and built a trading and warehouse center right here in the middle. Okay, it would be kept away from the stinky homes, but close enough that people could walk to bring their wares to the market. Over this way, we have our foragers. There's a big mushroom depository here, and our little mushroom foragers planted an herb garden and they live next to our hut. Right? Then I went, where's trade going to come from? Well, the King's Road is right here. Trade route. So, obviously, this is where our fort is going to be built, and this is where all my homes are going to be built. Churches in the medieval ages were surveyed and oftentimes built on the highest patch of land that was reasonable. This is the highest patch of land that is reasonable, which is why our church is here. And as for the farms, farms were done downhill. All the housing would be up, and then the farms would go downhill. So there you go. That's why we're building this way. So yes, I can build anywhere I want within my region, and I can come up with any design plan. Some people do the meta thing, and they build in a tiny little group or a massive group, and then they call that good. I'm sure the lords, ladies, and businessmen would much rather the farms get burned down than their homes. Maybe a spear and a shield. Okay, so sword and board style. When the farm flood downhill? Exactly. That's why you build it on the hill. If your farm is down in the valley, then yes, your farms are going to flood. And that's not good. It contributed to hoof rot and a bunch of other things that medieval peasants had a hard time dealing with. So you build your farm strips down the hill, but not in the valley. Sometimes you'll even get a man-made drainage system, an irrigation system to take that water away, right? But either way, we're going to build on these hills going down so that the water will travel down the hill into the valley. In Central America, there are like the farming steps. This is the perfect example of it. Let's show this off. This is the ancient city of Machu Picchu. There are some Gen Z podcasters that will have you believe with the eerie music like, did you know that these steps once belonged to giants? Why else would they be so big? Because they're not fucking steps, they're farms. you build step farms down like this so that the water runs through each crop as it makes its way down the hill. Right? Here's another example. It's not like this is a stone step. It's dirt, and then they built a stone wall, and then they built layer dirt, etc., etc. This is also fascinating because that's how rice paddies are done. Only rice paddies, each section holds the hill. Yeah, exactly. And each layer fills with water and then continues to go down. Look at this. It's remarkable. The genius of human ingenuity in primitive times, understanding that this is how it works. A very good question, and related to the game, so I don't mind nerding out a little bit. I think the funniest thing... I know we're running out of food. I am working on that. In fact, let's pause the game. I think the funniest thing about people trying to put conspiracy theories to things like aliens had to have built the pyramids because there's no possible fucking way that they could have done that. Well, that's interesting. You're talking about Egypt, a society of people who are well known for drawing fucking pictures of what they were doing. And there's pictures of them building the pyramid and showing you exactly how they did it with what technology. That wasn't a mystery. The mystery was why are they hollow? What are they for? I'll listen to your theories then. But as far as how they're built, brother, literally written by the people who did it. Give humanity a little credit. If something seems like an alien built it and there's no way we could do it, instead think of like, how could we have done it? Put your shoes in the primitive people who had to solve that fucking problem. And they did. They figured it out. Just like they're figuring out how they got Stonehenge. They pretty much know how they did it, but it's still a theory because there's no proof. Because you can't prove like how things moved on the ground thousands of years ago unless there's wheel marks or, you know, something like that. But even the Easter Egg Island statues, how they used to like put ropes on it, because the statues aren't just a head, it's actually a man that then is buried in the dirt a little bit. They would stand these giant Easter Island statues up, tie ropes around them, and then one side would pull and take a few steps back and then stabilize the stone, and then the right side would pull, take a few steps back, and then stabilize the stone, and on and on. And what you would get is that the stone was seen to be walking itself to the beach. But really it's just two fucking huge teams of people pulling on ropes and then taking a few steps back to causing it to pivot. Yeah, like give humanity credit. You want us to go see the stars and find aliens? I'm 100% behind you, but let's at least be proud of the fucking things we actually did. Especially since when it comes to pyramids, humanity didn't build a single structure taller than the Great Pyramid until the 1860s when the Eiffel Tower was built. The Eiffel Tower was the first building. And even then it was an art piece and it was supposed to be temporary. They put mummies around the base, like around the lower outside of it. But the inside of the Great Pyramid is completely hollow. And no one knows why. And there seemed to be a design for it. Now, my theory is, if the building's strong enough to be hollow, make it hollow, dude. Then you don't have to move more stone, right? Less brick to build if you could somehow get the building to weigh all three sides to weigh on itself, right? That's my logic. But I know, like, when you play Assassin's Creed Origins, there's like mystical creatures inside the pyramids, but like, it is interesting that somebody as thorough as the Egyptians designed the opening space. Was it mathematical? Did they figure out that's the shape it had to be so that all three sides could hold the building up? Or was there something spiritual to it? That I would love to know that. I know you're all cold. We're dealing with it, okay? We are fucking dealing with it. Right now we're starving to death. Can we focus on the important things? Oh, that's right. You know what? My bad, chat. I'm supposed to be getting these people freaking food. Yeah, these are our artisans for metalworking. Let's get some apples growing. Veggies, please. That's the whole reason why I got excited about raiding that tent, is because of the money. Ooh, we do have some people in homes over here. Now these people are gonna have goats because they're gonna produce hides. These people are going to have orchards and stuff. Notice we have 7 building families now. Okay, so we're gonna get our freaking fish as soon as... I mean, it's gonna get close. It's January now, which means all of February, there will be no food. So we're going on a 30-month fast. It'll be fine, because our farms are gonna generate some food. We're gonna get some eggs, some pork. It's gonna be extreme rationing. People are gonna get pissed off and they're gonna hate me. So how do we fix that? Well, simple. You go over here, taxes. Turn off your taxes. If you know people are gonna starve, don't tax them. If I can get 8 people to get here, I think we're gonna be in for a wonderful treat. Let's head back over here. Oink oink. Oinky oinky. Cabbages. Cabbages are a robust plant that can grow throughout the winter, if taken care of. Yes, we're going to be playing Fallout Chat versus Streamer Iron Man mode, and it's going to be starting much earlier than normal. 2:30 to 3 p.m. Pacific time, which is 5:30 to 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to be a longer stream. Goat. I need these goats because the goats will someday be shoes. Glorious shoes. We now have 0 food. Like literally 0. Like, people are gonna start getting fucking pissed. But as soon as March comes, we're gonna have food again. Thank you, Queen Felicia. See you then. Oh yeah, they're gonna be mad. But watch. Because our fish froze and our water didn't drain, now that it's spring, we didn't lose our pond. So as soon as March hits, you're gonna see that shoal of fish go bam up to 176, and all of our fishermen are gonna go out there like crackheads, like ah! That's the noise they make too. It's quite devastating. So let's literally watch ice melt. There we go, it's March. And just like that, our pond has regained all of its fish. And as I hungrily stare at the lake, I watch our people get to work. Where the hell's all the other fishermen? Oh, here they come. Get to work, people. I need this whole thing fished down before April. And then once April comes, we will do it again. And then again in May. And we'll have like 180 fish. Well, I don't mind their rudeness as long as they do their job. Did I hear somebody sniffling? You know, a lot of people don't appreciate the fact that there's actually furniture in the homes. Even though you can't go inside, there's still something to look at. See, isn't that cool? When you look at the window, you can see all the furniture. Pretty neat. Wow, the most stock asset pig noise. I think that's in Warcraft 1, isn't it? The good news is everybody's work. These people are planting the trees. I mean, we're gonna have food. These people have got their crops planted. The time of starvation is coming to an end. We're getting carrots, cabbages, beetroots. We've got eggs coming in, 8 pork. We're getting the carp right now. We shall call this season Carpe Diem, the day of the carp. And you know what? I'm pretty proud of everybody. Now I'm gonna keep taxes down. I don't want to piss them off. They're already not doing well. Just because we're getting food doesn't mean that there's enough to go around. Sorry, it's not funny, but I mean, it's kind of funny. You need this, and I need you to have this as well. I need all the goats that I can get. I'm gonna need their leathers to make some shoes. It's gonna take some time to get those shoes. And then these are all going to be different vegetables. You know what? Why not? Let's invite our friends. Let's get more families in here. They're not gonna pay any taxes. They're like get to hitch a ride for free, but we need a workforce up in this area. I need 16 people. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's enough. Sup, Red Dagger. Hello, how's it going? Do you like pole arms or swords and shields? Good swords. All right, so we'll go with a sword and board for you. Now that all these buildings are built, we just need them to populate. Once they populate, we can kick our farming into full gear. As you can see, they've started to come and work on our major artisan nobility quarter. My day has been well, thank you for asking. I'm gonna give a shout out to you, sir. Red of the Dago. I need this built next so that we can get trade a-moving. Now, the downfall is, and this is kind of a pain in the ass, we don't have a strong source of regional wealth. Our people are poor farmers. I can't really afford to upgrade their homes yet, although that would garner me more silver. They'll also be much more demanding. We need to get our food situation covered first. Then, we awaken the town by ranking our nobility up. Yes, that's right, folks. They're the first ones to get up rank 2 houses. Also, our merchants, they're already rank 2. This guy's not, but he's about to be. All of our merchants are going to be upgraded. Because these are the wealthiest people in town. They're the people who bring in all the goods. These are just fishmongers. You know what? I would think that the lumber industry, given that we are upgrading our town and we're getting a big city quarter, I would think that our lumberjacks would actually be incredibly wealthy. So let's upgrade their homes. As for our artisans, they're already kind of making money. There are blacksmiths, but our miners, I don't think our miners have a reason to be rich. And once our farms get off the ground, you might actually see our farmers become quite wealthy, depending on how much they produce. I mean, we're not so desperately poor that we can't make some good money decisions. You know, we got a little bit of cash to work with. Already these people are ready to upgrade. They are completely satisfied. They're lunatics. All right. Unfortunately, I need all of these farmers taken care of. I'm going to build out their farms, and then as we get money, their own personal gardens will go into the collective town supply. Soon our food industry is going to be very explosive. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? It might actually be worth it. Oh, interesting. I did not build a stables here yet. Let's get this building built. And this one. And then we're going to ramp that up to the highest because it requires no building supplies. We are going to have to buy them some oxen. For now, they can take from the town supply, but I only have 3. Let's go ahead and, in a premeditated manner, let's get another oxen. We want to be ahead of it. It takes the oxen a while to get here. They're hand-delivered. Now, if there was a monastery nearby, we'd be buying the oxen from the monastery if they had them for sale, but there is not. We're upgrading those to stables. Hopefully we'll be able to buy more. These construction guys are insane. How's our armies doing? We almost have full ranks on all three. We're about to make our second rank. So, since we're at this point, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oh. 3. All right. We're going to move this over here. We're going to move this guy here. And we're going to move this guy here. Now, as you can see, my army is quite significant. Except for crossbows. But crossbows, they're expensive to make. We have a decent army, though. Oh, new family has been moving in. Pause. It's time for another oxen to join our fold. It is May. Ah, 17 days. Since it's May, here's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you. I can't handle your family. Your buildings need to get built first. Okay, people. We're gonna grab this guy and he's gonna work the first farm. People. We're gonna grab this guy and he's gonna work the first farm. Now, this might actually make my farm take longer to build because I'm literally removing the workforce right now. But we have 7 families who aren't doing a damn thing. Probably end up with like 4 or 5 by the end of it. So I'm thinking it's okay. It's okay to get them in here. Now that we've done that, let's build our first crops. Now we're going to be doing some strip farms. We've already explained why. The oxen are just more behaved that way. And I'm going to run this down this way. And it's going to follow the contour of the road until right about here. Then I'm going to have it link up to the King's Road. We can't go crazy with our crops. So let's start with something that we know will grow. That looks pretty square. Okay, so the first crops are going to be wheat, rye, fallow. Over here. Rye, fallow, wheat. And then over here, fallow, wheat, rye. Leaving a field fallow means for a season you don't mess with it. Instead, you'll have livestock go in there or whatever you got to do. But the idea is that you want the soil to reclaim its nitrates so that it doesn't lose fertilization. Now, we're not done yet, but I've noticed that if you want your farms to be super efficient, build roads in between your plots. Next up. Oops. This is going to come down here and come across to here and then go up like so. This one's going to come down here, cross like this, and then go up like so. And then this one is going to come down like this, go across, and then snap up like so. Okay, we're going to build a road in between. Again, easy access for the oxen to go back and forth. Just like that. All right. These farms are a little bit bigger. We're going to do crop rotation, and I need barley, oats, and fallow. And we're going to come over here. We're going to do oats, fallow, oops, and then barley. And then here, we're going to do fallow, barley, and oats. This is a great start. Then, for our next field, I'm going to split this one into thirds. So I'm going to come up here to the quarter. grab this, move this down over to here. And then another one, like so. This is going to be a micro crop. And then just like that. We're going to do flax crop rotation. And the secondary crop is going to be wheat because wheat is immensely valuable. Then we're going to go wheat, fallow, flax. And then here, it's just going to be fallow, flax, wheat. Is this going to produce much? No. But hey, it'll still produce like 10 or 15. This is a lot of farms for one farm to handle. That's why we need this upgrade built, so that we can slap on some oxen to that particular plot. In 14 days, we'll be able to get another oxen. Ooh, I would really appreciate it if we took care of this right now. There's 5 building families. What the heck? What do you need? 1 log? Can somebody deliver a log here, please? Please go to the farm. Wait. Fuck you! We're gonna miss the growing season, and that's not gonna be good. Where is my goddamn farm? Or log. There it is. Wait, wait, wait. Come on. Turn right. Fuck! Okay. That was the wagon cart, too. Is it gonna be June by the time we get a fucking log delivered? Jesus. They are teasing me. You're right. Shanosaurus, you are right. Oh. Hey, there we go. A log got delivered. Now they're gonna build it. Okay, and now we go to livestock, and we're going to give them 2. Threshing priority low. That means they will worry about sowing the field. Now get out there. It's still spring. There, the 2 oxen we ordered are now going to be used by this. Once this is built, I'll get another family over there. Oh my god, shit. Okay, good. We have a whole family of 8 that are now our farmers. And here they go. Now, this is why you do strip farming. Back and forth. They don't have to turn that much. The oxen are easier to deal with. They don't tire out as much. This is not a problem, right? Surely it's not an issue. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 more families. So there's 8 there. That'll be 10. I'm going to need more homes. Well, now I got to wait until this is done being built. Actually, there is a way around that. Let's build some more houses. Make them the highest priority. So that these get populated first. I need them built now. And I only made them singular burgage plots because we're also going to need these people to later become our tailors. Not all of them, but most of them. And in fact, let's get our tannery going right over here. Away from the farm. No, no, you snapped correctly. None of that, sir. Okay, band of raiders near Kleinau. That is a problem. Although they have to go through Ferdau. They have to come up this road and go across this bridge. But there is a city here that they're going to want. So we don't have to worry about these guys. However, that does mean that the enemy is going to make a claim against one of our territories as soon as they are done. So we're going to let them do their thing. If they're smart, they'll claim Ander Dornley because I don't have any troops there. If they're dumb, they'll attack me here. I don't have a fort, but my troops won't have to go far. Ha! Bye! Wait a minute. Are you telling me your entire town's being burned right now? No, you guys got this. Look at that. You're kicking their ass. You got this. You just wasted your money on mercenaries you didn't need. Okay. Now, happiness is at 77%. It probably would be smart for me to turn taxes on again, but I'm not going to. Dreamington. Okay, we want to attack their claim right around here. How's our army doing? I mean, it's getting there. But I do have something I can do. So let's wait until it gets over here. I want to see how many people move in and become part of the army. I want to milk it. Claiming Dreamington, huh? What a bold decision. Especially since his capital's way over there. Pause. Enemies declared. Battlefield's right up here. Armies. Ooh, I'm glad I looked. I need to configure these. Down. Then, I need to cockblock mercenaries. These guys, I'm going to sacrifice. They're going to go after these lads here. They're going to get massacred. That's not the point. The goal is to soften them up and slow them down. All right? Now, all of our troops are in position. For the most part. And you know what? We need to change this music to something a little more fitting of the situation we're in. I hear them snoring. That's funny. Oh, shit. We should...
Shield wall, my liege. Yes, sir. My liege. Run. Move, my lord. Faster.
Like that.
My liege.
You guys could run, you know. Now, if I know where they're... Yep, they're coming across here. Ooh, wait. Holy shit. This changes everything. Fuck, I think I did this wrong.
Forward. Yes, sire. Men. Forward.
I need you to move
Your
fast.
orders, my liege.
Perfect.
Lord. Faster. Your orders. Run, men. Faster, my lord. Pick up the pace. Yes. Run.
Will I be able to make it there in time is the question, because they have archers. This may not be the call. They may outrange me. But I have a plan for that.
My liege.
It looks like archers. I don't see anybody else. So,
Run.
yeah, this'll work. The spearmen I'm fine with. It's the archers I'm worried about.
Kill them.
Across the bridge they go.
Kill them, master.
Retreat back. We've got the spearmen coming. So now,
Move quickly.
I want you to be
Pick up the pace.
here.
Run.
And then I want you to be here. Wow. I didn't even see those thugs sneak up on me, but they did. Here. Okay, good. So I did lose a couple crossbowmen because I wasn't paying attention.
Sire.
Okay, fine. I'll create a hole.
Orders. Yes, sire. Run. Faster.
Shield wall!
Together, men.
Defensive formation. Defensive formation. Shield wall.
Formation, shield
Ready
wall.
yourselves. All right, let's hope this bridge works. Lady, dude, turn around, go back. This is the wrong time to cross the bridge. You don't know what you're doing.
My lord. Pick up the pace, my liege. Run.
I wanted to create a little hole. We've already taken down 6 of their 30. Do our scouts report any archers on the way? Negative, just more spear militia. Good. It's going according to plan. Oh, you know what? I need you to be right there. I need somebody holding the point. Ooh. Here comes our retinue. Oh, this is gonna be delicious. Bzzz. Keep on fighting. Fall back. Swordsman. No, 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 no. Just you. I said just you. Jesus, fuck. You guys are ruining everything. Spearmen, get to your fucking positions. Shield wall that shit. You, over here. My God. You're all idiots. You're all useless. I am not losing my cool over fictional soldiers. Now we do this again. And we wait. Interestingly enough, they are kind of deciding on whether or not they should go into my village. They don't know. Meanwhile, I am holding the victory point. Maybe I could coax them over here. They don't like their odds. They're like, should we go in here and just... Oh, there's a lot of spear militias. Thinking about it, I need to coax them through here. Oh, this is gonna be a brutal fight. I think those archers are gonna fuck us up. Well, what mercenaries are for hire? For now. Excellent. This is exactly what I wanted. Sign the contract. Pause. Meanwhile, these forces are coming up here. There's archers somewhere in these woods. The main reason why I bought those archers is so that he doesn't. We got thugs coming in. Their retinue pushed past our front lines. Well, I've got sour news for them. Our boys are up here. Men, charge!
Move!
Cut, they're running away. Oh, wait a minute. We don't want to leave the zone. Oh, the battleground moved. This is perfect. Get him! And because we're back in our home territory, we can just disband them and they'll go home. Let's disband these archers so we don't have to pay them another penny. Where are they going? They're going the long way? Why would you do that? Oh my god. Good lord, what have we done? Oh well. Ooh, it's harvest season. Some of my crops are ready. Hello? There it goes. I had to pause the game. Some of these people lost family members. I'm noticing that now. The farming community was indeed hit the hardest. But we have some money. So let's fly back over here. Piggy, piggy, piggy. Resource. Sad crying eyeball face. You know, let's do vegetable gardens for these. Yeah, these will also be vegetable gardens. On the big plots, I want vegetable gardens, but I didn't even think about apiaries. Which means these homes are going to be apiaries once I get the people. Oh well. Maybe what we'll do is we'll have some beekeepers. Yeah, let's get some beekeepers going. I'm thinking the beekeepers will be out here in the field. Right? That makes sense to me. Here we go. With poor building families and a construction team, this won't take long. Yeah, it is sad. They get the crying little eyeball face because they lost somebody important to them. Ugh. And then for like a month, they're totally unproductive. Whatever. I'm fine. You guys are fine. Honestly, that was an incredible fight. We went up against a force twice our size. Although we sacrificed a fuckload of mercenaries up here, it was for the good of the kingdom. For the peace of the kingdom. For the peace of the king. Ah, yes, of course I don't see it because everybody's constructing stuff right now. Whoopsies. I don't want to do that until we have officially grabbed all of our crops. We're working on it right now. Look at them all. Busy little bees. The flax will make our clothing. Yes. Ropes have been rotated. Everything's going so well. Oh shit, that's right, I need these to be highest. We need to get these bees here pronto. Because the bees will help all of our orchards. It's like this whole region just exploded in energy and life. Super Contrand, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Now we're just sitting here waiting for people to move in. And the moment they move in, I'm going to show up on their doorstep like, Voltec, Ollie. But I couldn't help but notice that we're going into winter with an okay amount of food. It's still going to be really tight. Like, really tight. I'm going to keep taxes off so that we can continue to pump our population a little bit. Until the king starts charging me taxes, in which case I'll turn them on. Ah, yes, another family. I'm going to use what money we have to get more apples. Apples are going to create alcohol, or make cider out of them. The honey is going to be used to make mead. And then, of course, the barley is going to be used to make beer. And now you see the grand plan of things. We've got 21 free homes with 24 homes coming. So as soon as we fill our farmers out, we cannot build any more homes. We need to take a chill pill on it. Notice I'm doing this all without trade, but trade is the next step. We need to have things to trade. Our armies are already recovering pretty nicely. Oh, I guess we don't need this battle music on anymore. "15 days we'll be able to order another oxen." I know it wasn't fully sown. We're working on it. We're getting people, okay? Ah, yes, our second family has moved into here. They are going to be farmers. By the way, the red triangle by their name means they're sick. Speaking of which, is our place doing herbs? Yes, it is. Good. All year round, they're gathering medicinal herbs. I believe every future farmer that moves into this region will be able to operate the mill, the communal ovens, and more importantly, the storage. Speaking of which, let's pop that bad boy out. All right. This music is appropriate.
So you say you want to become a farmer for me? I think we can make this work out. But first I'm gonna need you to tell me, who will marry my daughter? Yes. It's an interesting question. For when she gets married, we will all be able to celebrate the joy of a life passed on to another family, of unity between our blood that will make us happy. So, I ask you, chat, will you dance with me? I don't see dancing. Gabagoo.
I really need this to be built.
No, it's cold.
Oops. Bum, bum, bum. There's one other business I need to build. Actually, probably a couple of these malt houses. You know, malt houses, very important structures for our the future production of our alcohol. You know. Yeah.
You'll love my nuts. Very, very good. I'm wondering when that will get its log, though. Next up, for the businesses we just created and more. There we go. And they're going to be farmers as well.
Oh, come on, deliver the log. Yes. While those of us sip on our champagne, the farmers are hard at work. Let us mock them as they walk by. I should have enough to build them all houses. I can make this work. It's almost coffee time. We're also going to need to have more houses along this stretch for our sowers, right? Let's bump up this up to the highest so they don't build a city anymore. Oh, this is planned. We know that. We know we're running out of food, but the good news is it's February, and starting next month we're gonna have a fuckload more. Speaking of which, are you guys even doing anything? I mean, I guess you are. You are planting. What's your work area? Let's shrink the work area down, shall we? If we have you focus on a tiny little area, I will get a thicker forest sooner. So let's have you start right around everybody. Oh, yes. The unassigned. There you are. There you go. Alright. Because this does have all the farmers, right? No, it's missing 3. That was a very dumb idea. I'm an idiot. God dang it. Oh, but what we could do is go to livestock and give them 2. Now, I need you over in one of these communal ovens. Stat. You need to start getting ready to make some food. And while we're at it, because we have the money, we might as well buy some apple seeds. We want lots of apples for the cider and the fruit. If I only make enough apples for cider, then the people, when they're craving fruit, won't have anything to eat. So all of these are going to be apples. And you know what? Oh, hello. Let's start getting some aviaries going. It's going to cost us a lot of money. We might as well build them now, even though they're not going to do anything until people get there. Everything's going according to plan. I know we're eyeballing this area, but this is the most important part of our processing. We need a lot. They're getting to work on processing the flowers. But, oh, it chunked a little bit. Let's slow down the simulation for now. But the next few people who move in, we might want to redirect to our storehouse and our granary. Now, they do have to go pretty far for prayers. But until we upgrade this church, I'm not going to build another church. Like, I want the peasants to have their own wooden church, but that's as high as it's going to get. Oh, we're starting to collect royal taxes, and you know what that means. It's time. Now people are going to get really pissed off. Here we go. Now we got some flour being made. All right. You know what? I lied. I'm actually going to put you on the other communal bakery because we need all of this stuff. Now, the other thing that we'll need that people sometimes neglect is something to keep these people warm. We're going to go ahead and build a wood cutting lodge right here. And I've thought of something else. Like, these are being operated, right? Let's stop when we have 100 charcoal. That way we can recover some of our firewood. Because right now... Oof. There it goes. We have about 254. We're going to need a lot of firewood. Homes tend to use firewood. The charcoal's used for industry. I think that's a healthy amount. These homes are probably going to be the next moved into. So let's start making them piggies. I should have done that before I did the apiaries, but you know what? You live, you learn. And then this is officially done being built up. Well, except for this. I do want this built pretty quick. But this will be all the industry the farm needs. Now, I'm only putting the communal ovens out here. Eventually, we're going to destroy one of the communal ovens. And these guys are going to be our bakers, right? But right now, they're not doing anything. Oh, we got a new family. There they are right there. All right, fam. You're the first person to work in this granary. You're going to help bring everything to this granary and get it shipped out throughout the rest of the countryside. Do I have tin to build? Yes, I do. Let's bump this up. Now we're still 2 farmers short, but I really need somebody in this storehouse too. Otherwise their pantries are going to get full and they're going to start having issues. Did our first... Yep, our first stall got built in the market. Oh man. It's actually not that far of a walk for them. Yes. Our army is growing. Swelling even. You know what? Let's go find the armorer's shop. Which one of you guys is the armorer? You. Oh, we are making helmets. They're just being used by our troops. Okay. I'm okay with this. Keep it up. You're doing great. Now, while we can't really make any new retinue at the moment, what we can do is we can click on our current retinue and start equipping everybody else with armor that we own. Okay, that's all we could do for now, but that's fine. Sir Pilot, your body is going to be that. Your helmet is going to be that. Look at how sharp you look. Next up, Lord Dream, you stay the way you are. Helmet. Next up. Helmet. Next up. Body. And then all the wiener dudes in the back. We're gonna make them the mega troops. And we should be able to coast from here on out. Okay, we have our new warehouse worker. He's gonna have pigs. There you go. At least get somebody picking up this crap. The next family that moves in over here, I'm probably going to stick them on the wood cutting. I know I said I need to focus on the farms, but I really need some local firewood for these guys. Then they don't have to travel all the way to this area just to get wood. But they can come into the town. I mean, that's not really that far. I think this strip of road, or this strip of houses is next, followed by our honey producers. Which I want to spend money on now while I have it. These are going to be very busy little bees, and I need all the honey they can get. A lot of this is just babysitting the numbers right now. I could let the simulator just kind of go on a little bit more, but I really, really need my people to focus. Like, the farms are looking great. It looks like they're able to get them all planted. 96, 42, 31, 54. I mean, this is an incredible yield. But they still need to be smart about it. I should have done apples. I'm an idiot. Whatever. It works. This is gonna save our people. Next person. Oh, wait. Son of a bitch. Okay. Next house becomes a baker. We have lots of food we need to make. Lots of bread. I think we're gonna put 2 more people in these mills, too. Speaking of which, I wanted to check something. Our smithy. What is our par for the... Ah. That's unfortunate. I should have paid attention to that. Shit. Everybody else has good pars, right? Yeah. Let's make this 10. Let's make this 10. And let's tell them no more tools. We have a smithy for that. We don't need them to focus on that. That was a mistake on my part. We have so many tools, it's ridiculous. Guess what we're going to be trading? Tools. I like to see that.
Just give me a hammer and something needs to not move. I'll put it in its place.
Where are the stones? Ooh, we got a new family over here. And you, I need you all. I need this family at least to bake on that oven. The next family that moves into this territory, we're gonna move over here to the mill. So 4 chevon, 7 pork, 45 carp. We got a little bit of meat. But now the bread is going up. 20 wheat bread, 8 rye bread. This is good. We also have milk because our goats produce milk, which is another thing. A lot of people are like, pigs are the way to go. No, you go goats. You get meat, you get leather, you get milk. That's an animal byproduct. That's leather for shoes and meat. It's a win-win. Goats all around. Start off with pigs. Get yourself some pork, but... And then we're going to see people's happiness go up with the food variety and the amenities. There's another aspect to this too. Once we get their needs met, we can upgrade some of these homes to be cheesemongers. Which is kind of the plan. I'm going to make one of these right here a cheesemonger. Cheese never expires. You can make as much cheese you want and it doesn't spoil. Also considered animal byproduct. So that's incline out. Ooh. Ooh, let's watch this. They're springing into action. They're getting ready to burn the place. Will they be able to muster their troops? This is a problem with building all your stuff right along the edge. Now they're not burning mode anymore because they see the enemy troops are being formed. It would have been interesting to watch them raid a little bit more. Yeah, the raiders are done for. After this happens, they are going to attack us again. I eagerly await their attempt. How are we doing on plate mail? We have no plate mail. Cool. You mean you don't have any animals? Go ahead and do panage. Jesus Christ, this whole place has been stripped. Let's move this over here. And then I'm thinking we need to tell our woodcutters to calm the fuck down. And start chopping over there. That'll give the trees time to grow. This doesn't have a crop yet. We'll have to remedy that. Carrots. We got some quinces growing. They go by pretty quick. This needs a crop, that needs a crop, that needs a crop, that needs a crop. So how about we start focusing on these guys next? I can't wait for them to attack me. I'm ready for it. Interestingly enough, let's disband that unit and that unit. I know that we could use the archers, but I think we need to find our bowyer's shop. And I want you to make... So you are making war bows. Good. That means the bowyer will effectively ignore crossbows for a while and only focus on bows. And we should start seeing these numbers populate pretty quick. We need the range, is what we need. I almost don't even... We'll figure it out. If they declare war on us, we'll bring one of the crossbowmen. Actually, we could probably get rid of that group right there and just do crossbowmen for now. This is coming along nicely. Getting people here is going to be the longest part, though. I do need that farmhouse full. They need to be able to thresh. Right now, we're keeping up with our bread making for now. It's definitely something we're going to want to address in a bit. But we can make bread throughout the winter. Yep, there's little saplings growing. We're bringing the forest back. What we could do, too, is tell the Woodcutter's Lodge to only cut out there. Nah. The charcoal smelters are gonna continue to do their work in their shitty hovels. I'm pretty sure I told you to stop doing that. Oh, do you have oh, okay. Perfect. And that'll give this forest time to regrow. We're going to replant here and return panage to these guys. Panage meaning the act of taking pigs out in the morning to eat acorns. Already our happiness is going up despite our taxes. You have one family here? Well, sir, I don't know what to tell you. But I guess you guys are going to work in the granary. Let's upgrade these while we're at it. Then these should start filling up. I knew a couple houses over there were going to start filling. And then once we get more people in here, we'll get more fuel closer to the place. The waiting game. Farmers are going out. I mean, maybe a medium threshing priority would be nice. Where did he move in? He did not move in up here. Fuck. So what, now they're just filling up this area? Yep. Oops. Continue working at the granary. Is it this one that had a new move in, or this one? The flow of goods is what's important. Some of those houses did build before I started building these. But we did get gold. So, cabbages. And we'll wait for the others. I need all of those to be carrots to give us a good balance of food. Oh! YouTube's kind of taking a dump. Sorry about that, YouTube. If performance drops, I don't know why it's gobbling up all the resources. Ba-ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-ba-bum. Ba-ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-ba-bum. We have been able to stay ahead by 4 months, but you know, it's looking like we're going to be eating through our pork like crazy this winter. We do have 17 apples. That's a good thing. That's going to increase happiness too. There is some use to putting them on the granary and this here, because it's going to make everybody a lot happier. Well, it'll at least give them a temporary job until we have them switched to artisans, and then I'm going to be building homes for all of the granary staff. And then we're going to center on this one and bring it out like so. In this road, it's going to go at a hard angle like so, with another road doing that. We're going to do the same thing over here to create some more interesting architecture. Just like so. But notice my happiness is going up the more I have people work these stations. YouTube, come on. Is my internet going down? You know what, guys? I'm getting alerts on everything. Let's save the game. Let's try some real quick. See if it'll stabilize through a network test. My ISP might be having trouble. I do see Adobe's updating, so let me close that out and see if it helps. Okay, so it appears my network is going to shite. So let's save the game here instead of me streaming for another hour and YouTube not being able to enjoy it. And we will continue this again. Now tomorrow we've got a long stream starting at right around, I'd say, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2:30 to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 5:30 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be playing our modded Fallout hardcore chat versus streamer Iron Man mode. So if that's something you'd like to see, check it out then. YouTube, if you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe and notification bell, or generally check in on Wednesdays and Thursdays, usually in the afternoons, not the evenings. And then on Saturday and Sunday in the evenings. Yeah, my internet's tanking bad. Much love to you. Now, chat, I could be a total dingus or a dick and make it to